There is a growing disrespect for government. It is a crisis of confidence.
I was in community college in San Diego, and I had been raised in a pretty conservative, I love my parents, they're still alive, but they're pretty conservative, Episcopalian, Republican household. So when I went to junior college and I took my first women's studies class, I got mad. And I realized the injustices that women have suffered. So it was, I would say, definitely an awakening. We were reading quite a bit of feminist literature at the time, and poetry, and plays, and it was also a great, there was a lot of joy in it too, and a lot of humor. But I do remember thinking, for the first time looking at a beauty contest and thinking, wait a minute, this is actually really sick. Why do we do this to women? That's horrible. We've got to stop that.
Do you think you've moved on since his dad?
You know that you're not actually a therapist? I've had new guys, okay?
Planned Parenthood was crucial to many of us in the 70s who were going for our health care to Planned Parenthood, and of course, it still is. And the thing that's so vital about it is that even if they want to cut off funding, what you're basically doing is punishing women who can't afford their own health care. As you know, we have this crazy health care system in our country. Obama was trying to make it a universal health care, which we didn't quite get to, but we were going in that direction, so that's now being defunded. And as you say, Planned Parenthood plays a crucial role, not just in reproductive issues, but just of all of women's health care. So it is very important to underscore the importance of Planned Parenthood, and I think a lot of us are going to be very active in that way, supporting Planned Parenthood, which deserves it so much. You know, there's plenty of movies with men and women both that have, where they're both there and they're both having interesting relationships, let's say. But this one is more geared towards women. But I think it's something that it's not just for women. I mean, I think a lot of the things that end up being revealed are things that might be intriguing to men about women. Menstruation, for instance. That's one of my favorite scenes, when Greta gets all the men to say menstruation. I mean, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, Abby?
No, stop it. I'm menstruating.
Abby, you know what? You're menstruating. Okay, but do you have to say it? Okay, and do we really need to know everything that's going on with you?
What? I'm menstruating. Why is that a big deal?
We don't need to hear about that. Thank you.
If you ever want to have an adult relationship with a woman, like if you want to have sex with a woman's vagina, you need to be comfortable with the fact that the vagina menstruates. And just say menstruation. It's not a big deal. So start saying it now. Menstruation.
Now.
Yes. Menstruation.
Menstruation.
Jamie,
No.
you don't have to.
You're saying it like you're scared. Don't say it like you're scared.
Abby.
Say it like it's normal.
Menstruation.
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 I think we've now really moved into a time where all the complexities of women, and they're sometimes villains, and they're sometimes good guys, and they're bad guys, and they're somewhat in between. And certainly with the mantle of motherhood, there's nothing that has more baggage behind it. I think much more so than fatherhood, if I may say so, that there's so much baggage associated with it. So to find a character who, one of the things that is about her is that she's a mom, and that is explored in a really kind of specific and interesting way. I had a lot of role models, but one of them is a woman named Kathy Salter, who I babysat for, and I started babysitting for her. I was a big babysitter, and I babysat for her from the time I was 12, and then by the time I was 16, we'd become friends. She had divorced her husband. We started learning, and we actually took scuba diving lessons together, which, by the way, Southern California does not have very good scuba diving, but we didn't even know that. That's how little we knew. So we became friends then, and had a lot of adventures together, and we are still very, very good friends. She lives in Portland, Oregon, and she's still my hero, and I just love her to death.
We've always believed that the days of our children would be better than our own. But we've discovered that owning things and consuming things does not satisfy our longing for meaning.
Wow. He is so screwed.
It's over for him.
I thought that was beautiful.